पुराणे संकष्टनाशनम्
Thank you so much for your kind attention. And indeed, it's a divine presentation. With the invocation of Lord Ganesha, the deity of success, the deity of new beginnings. Let's pray Lord Ganesha to remove all obstacles, inner and outer, from our life and guide us on path of knowledge and success. Thank you so much. Today we are gathering for very important workshop on creative writing. Roger Anthony Briggers once said, "The act of writing can have the effort of broadening new horizons, enriching your mind, and on many occasions, liberating your spirit." Thank you so much, all the respected participants, for joining us in this beautiful evening. I, Randhir Kumar Gautam, on behalf of School of Humanities and Social Science of Raffles University and Rage Global Foundation USA, I welcome everyone. It's great and indeed an honor to have available to us distinguished speakers. First, the guest of honor, Dr. J.S. Anand, eminent poet and chairman of Aazad Foundation. Professor Diwakar Goli, president of Raffles University. Deepika Dave, CEO, Rage Global Foundation, USA. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to our Chief Patron, Honorable Justice Dr. Meena Vigombar, former Chief Justice of Rajasthan High Court. Honorable Speaker, Sülli R.Vaino, writer, artist, and a speaker from Estonia. Moderator, Dr. Devendra Tiwari, Assistant Professor of Raffles University, and all the respected participants, viewers, and listeners. First, I would like to invite Deepika Dave, Chief of Rage Global Foundation, to share some of her kind words for this workshop. Meanwhile, I can give a kind of presentation. Deepika Dave needs no introduction. She is a woman rights activist. By profession, she is an engineer and entrepreneur. She is president and founder of Rage Global Foundation, which is a non-profit global NGO working for youth and women empowerment. So, Deepika Dave, ma'am, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Randhir. Thank you, Randhir Gautam, for introducing me so wonderfully. First of all, I would like to thank you for your hard work, dedication, and support for Race Foundation. You have been working and volunteering for last 3 years for Race, and we have grown a lot since then. And thank you for the programs you have led in the Delhi chapter and helping other chapters in India as an executive program director, and for making collaboration possible between Raffles University and Race Global Foundation. On a personal note, let me tell you all that he is more like a family member for us. Hello and namaste to our honorable guest, Miss Vaino, Dr.Jernail Singh Anand, Dr. Diwakar Goli, and Dr. Tiwari, and all our respected participants. Please accept my warm greetings. It's our pleasure to have you all with us today at this workshop of creative writing. I would like to sincerely thank Dr. Diwakar Goli for providing us an opportunity to serve the community for on the complex issues like gender studies in collaboration with university programs and projects. It's an honor to collaborate with the university. Thank you. As Randhir introduced me, yes, I'm an engineer. Um, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a wife, I'm a mother of two handsome boys, and a social worker, a women's rights activist. And I'm proud to say that I work towards gender equality, youth development, and women empowerment, which is still needed all over the world. We need to bring change about social norms, stereotypes, and fight against bias. I fight for them and things I care about, and I want to do it in a way that people would like to join me. And I believe that if we want to bring desirable change in our community, begin from self. And so I'm extremely proud to have founded the RAISE Global Foundation. RAISE stands for Rising Ambitions of Young Society, a 501c3 nonprofit organization in May 2019 to build a support network in the US and in India to educate, engage, and empower young generation by promoting and advocating an array of topics from drug awareness to financial literacy and leadership for their development and women empowerment. We work towards gender equality, focusing on strengthening the socio-cultural richness to cultivate leadership capacity and empowering them to have a voice regardless of race, creed, caste, religion, and social status. Hundreds of girls and women, boys and men have benefited from our gender equality awareness campaign in India. And um, Raise believe that if we need to create a culture that values and respects and looks up to and idealizes all races as equal and all men and women as important and valuable. We must educate boys and men to understand, realize, and accept women's feelings, women's freedom, women's work, women's rights, and women's free identity. We have led many workshops and webinars on financial literacy and women and young generations empowerment in the USA and in India. We partner with the government of the city of Charlotte and a very reputed and prestigious national organization for advancement of colored people, the NAACP, and a California-based company named Drug Free World, and now with Raffles University. RAISE primary objectives includes advocating the policy which is based on gender equality. We want to help girl child to have necessary life skills to negotiate the life decisions, key life decisions. We strive to eliminate discrimination and violence against young people across religion and ethnicity, thus root out systemic racism in our justice system and society. We'll provide consultation by ensuring the voices of women across the marginalized community. We'll run leadership development programs for young boys and girls. Today, RAISE is proud to organize a creative writing workshop which would help our participants gain the values, concept, and understanding the importance of creative writing, which is most necessary in the present global world. Anything written with compassion, curiosity, and contemplation makes a culture and shows us how to transform our confusions to understanding. I cannot stop myself pointing out about one thing that creative writing is not so creative when it comes to women, says McGill researchers. Women severely are underrepresented in contemporary fiction. Study shows from a research conducted by .txt lab, .text lab, a digital humanity laboratory that focuses on understanding cultural inequality using um, computation methods. Bestsellers, prize winners, mystery, romance, young adult, and science fiction, as well as books reviewed by the New York Times were scanned during this research. Overall, it was found a ratio of men to women, which approaches to 2:1. The ratio of 2 men to 1 woman is known as golden mean of patriarchy. Surprisingly, the gender of the author has little impact on this number at every character rank, no matter the author's gender or the genre of book. There are more men than women. I would not take up much time, but I would definitely like to say that if she can read, if she can write, she can be it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And namaste.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your brief and very elaborated presentation of the idea of creativity and how you relate with gender. Thank you so much. And my famous favorite sociologist, Adorno, once said, "The need of thinking is what makes us think." I would say, with same analogy, the need of writing is what makes us to write. Sociologist John Berger once said, writing is an offshoot of something deeper. We in Raise Global Foundation and Raffles University, we want our youth and women to be able to write clearly and effectively. We know writing is a skill that can be developed no matter what your present skills are. Practice can greatly help you to improve those skills. What Stephen King states, if you want to be a writer, you must do two things above all other things: read a lot and write a lot. This workshop is especially designed to encourage youth and women to make time for their creativity expressions and unleash their creative energies. Now I would like to invite Dr. Devendra Kumar Tiwari to kindly moderate the session. And first he will invite our chief guest of honor, Dr. Jernail Singh Anand sir.
Sir,
So, Tiwari,
thank you very much. Thank you very much. Before I proceed to invite our guest of honor, Dr. J.S. Anand sir, one observation which is blinking in my mind and I feel like to express right. I am completely agreeing with the sentiments of Deepika Daveji. She said that there is a need of equality, and same sentiment was felt by Virginia Woolf of first quarter of 20th century when she uh, was to deliver a lecture at an institution and for search of primary and secondary sources of her content. When she visited a library, that library was full of writings by male members. Even about females, writings were available by males. She found very less contents written on females, written on women by women. So she felt like that there is a need of some change, and for getting an inspiration from that situation, she wrote a critical essay, A Room of One's Own. And where in that essay she depicted that there is a need of financial independence and a private room to elaborate, to get freedom to express whatever a lady, whatever a female has to express in form of creative writing. She gave the example of Jane Austen, Bronte sisters, as well as she created a fictional character. Means she imagined in form. Suppose there would have been a sister of William Shakespeare. She, as she was not given a ample opportunity because of patriarchal system of society, she would have left underdeveloped and not got not reach up to that level as Shakespeare could. So really, I'm very much happy to note down this point at this juncture. Thank you very much. Now, to begin with, welcome of our guest of honor, Dr. Jernail Singh Anand, sir. Sir, welcome you from bottom of my heart. And to briefly introduce Sir for my audience, Dr. Jernail Singh Anand is chairman of Aazad Foundation and a recipient of Naji Naman Literary Award 2020. Dr. Singh is Professor Emeritus in Indian Literature, the European Institute of Roma Studies and Research, Belgrade, Serbia. Dr. Singh has authored more than 100 plus books of poetry, fiction, non-fiction, literary uh, genres, spirituality, and philosophy. He is also an internationally acclaimed poet, author, academician, educationalist, and environmentalist. Dr. Singh has been the president of World Poetry Conference held in 2019 and chairman of World Poetry Conference third, which held recently in June 2021. Sir, Dr. Singh is founder of President of Galaxy International Foundation and Chairman, World Literature India. Sir, it's my honor to welcome you, and I invite you to bless us by your presence and your benign words. Sir, over to you.
I'm thankful to you, Devendra Tiwari ji, and I
Welcome,
am
sir.
very thankful to Gautam ji. And I have just heard Deepika ji, Dr. Diwakar Goli, President Raffles University, and being in India, we are also. I'm thankful to and welcome our speaker, our guest from Estonia, Sülli R.Vaino. Thank you very much for inviting me, and so that I am able to converse with or have a talk with our learned audience from across the globe. The topic is creativity or a workshop of creativity. It is very interesting because generally we think that creativity cannot be taught. We cannot train people in creativity, but these are different type of times when everything has been digitalized, everything has been commercialized, and these are the times when anything is possible, including creativity. So that magic we will visit when Miss Sülli R.Vaino comes to you. But I would like to share some ideas regarding creativity with you. From the very beginning, creativity has always been thought in terms of the creation of the universe. Actually, in Greek, there was no word which could mean create or creativity. Even in Latin, there was a word creare, which meant made. So, creation or creativity in the present sense came during the Renaissance only, and later on, when asceticism came and other during this Renaissance, this was accepted into our world. And for the first time, it can be a surprise that for the first time this word was used in 1927 as common currency between science, art, and literature. Now, creativity, what I think, is the result of heterogeneous heterogeneity. Heterogeneity. When things are divergent. If the things are not divergent, there will not be creativity. Just think of creation. There is a Punjabi writer who wrote a very important book in Punjabi, that is Heer Waris. Heer Waris is a romance which was written by Waris Shah, and it was in undivided Punjab. So what he writes, when he begins that work, he says, Aval hamd khuda da wird kije, ishq kita su jag da mool miyan. पहला आप ही रब ने इश्क किता ते माशूक है नबी रसूल मियां. So I put it into English. He says, the very origin of this world is due to ishq or love. And God himself fell in love with Nabi Rasul, Prophet Muhammad, as a result of which this world was created. So the point to underline is love. And love is always between two heterogeneous elements. There need to be two opposites to create something. And here comes in the idea of human creation also. You need two genders, male and female. Only then creation is possible. So when Madam Dave was talking, I was just thinking that maybe patriarchal society has pushed women to the margins. Otherwise, she is 50% partner. She has 50% partnership in this whole creation. We should not think only of men and women. Creation, the idea of creation, the idea of sexes, the idea of gender, it is prevalent even in non-human creation. Can you imagine flowers? Can you imagine anything being created without sexual activity? And if sexuality takes place, it means there are two opposing forces which are pulled to each other. That is creation. Now we can apply this idea to our literary creation also. This can be an invitation for research on these lines. There are many books I just today saw Google. They are trying to compare literary activity with sexual activity. I don't mean that. My intention is that creation is possible only due to divergent thinking. Creation is possible only when heterogeneous elements come together. And for that matter, literary activity takes place when two opposing but creatively inclined forces exchange glances. Now you come to human love. How human love takes place. Two persons, man, woman, they exchange glances, they come together, touch each other softly, so that not only electricity, but pleasure is also produced. So what I find is that this type of creative joy is felt even in the literary activity when it takes place. And in creative activity, it shows how different letters meet different letters. A, B, C, D. Different letters meet different letters and form different words. And then words enter into further union to create meanings. And what is the meaning? Meaning is the creation of fertility. If the words are fertile with meaning, only then they create some meaning. So words fall in love, get into intimate relationships, form alliances, then ideas have, intimacy with other ideas. Then they blossom forth into books. And what are books? The living places of ideas. Then what can say? There is verbal intimacy. When we are writing something, verbal intimacy. When we are hearing something, music, it is oral intimacy. And when we are saying something, artistic presentation, it is visual intimacy. So what is the dialogue? What is debate? From these divergent thoughts, come out. Creativity is given a boost out of these things. So another idea that springs up from this is that creative people are essentially different from general run of people, general run of students. Generally, students believe in rote learning, and they believe in doing things as per norms. But there are some creative people who think differently, who think independently, who think originally, who sometimes violate the commands of their parents also. They don't bother. But you see, if this world has been brought so much of progress, it was never the result of a status quo. It was never the result of following the rules. It was the result of breaking out of the rules. Creating something new means you are leaving something behind. You are cutting out of something, some set patterns. Only those who leave those patterns, break out of those patterns, they create something new. So what I want, in my previous discussion also, I pointed out that in India, we have NCC, National Cadet Corps. I believe we must have another NCC, National Creative Corps. All the best students in a school go to any school and ask them, what do you want to become? They will say, I want to become an IAS officer. And I want to become IRS. I want to become IPS. Now, why? These are very elite forces. But the moment you enter into these services, your mind is blocked. Your thinking is blocked. Your creativity is blocked. And you have to follow the dictate from above. You cannot apply your mind. So the best people in India are choosing these services. This is one of the reasons that India is an average institution. We have not been able to produce extraordinary minds. So I was talking of divergent thinking. You will be surprised that what what type of people we need if we want to progress, if we want to do extraordinary things. What type of people we need? We do not people who run by the rules. We need people who can run parallel to the rules. We need right-centric phenomena. People among whom there is right-centric phenomena. And what is right-centric phenomena? These people are emotional and warm-blooded. Those people who are emotional and warm-blooded, and you saw in the War film, Amitabh Bachchan's role, just remember, Indians can do it. He was emotional and warm-blooded, and he could buy a 20-story building for his mother. and they are open to risk taking also. 43% authors are found to have bipolar disorders. This is very strange but factual information, because sometimes, they suffer from depression, they suffer from, sense of underconfidence or something like this. So all these things create havoc with the minds of authors. And the best of authors, mostly they end up, killing themselves. So, friends, and creativity is also used for negative purposes. Terrorists, they have also creative minds, but they create to kill. But as we are entering the new age, creativity is becoming very important. In this conceptual age, we will need to foster and encourage right directed thinking. We should encourage among people right directed thinking, representing creativity and emotion, over left directed thinking, representing logical and analytical thought. In creativity, logical thought, analytical thought is not considered very good, very positive for a creative approach towards life. So, in one of my books also, I made a reference to artificial intelligence. We have AI a lot, and we have creative intelligence also. We are creating robots, we are going higher into Mars and other places. And what we lack is imaginative intelligence. So that in order to ensure cosmic well-being, this is our problem. We are progressing, but at the same time, the human element is shrinking. We are not a very happy race. So the creatives, the people who create, the people who teach creativity, people who learn creativity, they must have to focus on cosmic well-being. I don't say human well-being. That is a very limited idea. We have to think of the cosmos. We have threatened the natural world. The first empire is under great threat. Animals, birds, beasts, vegetation, waters, air, and man, of course. So all these things have to be taken care of. Uh, I would, I hope that Madam uh, Sülli will bring you directly in touch with this creative workshop. I don't know how will you react to my ideas, but I always believe in thinking differently, because creativity means divergent thinking. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for such an enlightening and thought-provoking, full of information, and with a very critical gauge towards creative writing. Sir, definitely we are honored to have you among us, and thank you very much once again. Now, before I invite our speaker and resource person of today's workshop, let me welcome our one of distinguished guests, Professor Anand Giri, sir. Sir, we are happy to have you among us. It is an honor, and your presence gives us confidence. Sir, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now, definitely, the time has come for the moment we have been waiting since this program was framed by the convener, to welcome and offer the stage to the resource person of today's workshop, Miss Sülli R.Vaino. Miss Vaino belongs to Estonia. She is a writer, artist, and a speaker. She has instructed numerous courses in self-development, creativity, and spiritual expansion. She graduated from Estonian Academy of Arts. Miss Vaino has had her credit of being the author of many children books. To name few, like I'm quoting the title of her books: Your Little Friend, Nalini and a Little Whale, Snow, Lion and a Mess with Skins, A Big Dream of a Small Caterpillar, Book of Dreams, and she has n number of books and articles in Estonian language. Ma'am, really, we are honored to have with us, and we are eagerly waiting for to listen and go with you on the journey of creative writing. So, dear participants, now be ready to sail in boat of creative writing with our distinguished resource person, Miss Sülli R.Vaino. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And hello to everyone. I am very glad to be here, and it is honor to be here. And thank you for all these wise words which we already listened. Yes, now today we will start with a creative writing workshop. And I don't have to introduce myself because this is already done. Maybe I only add a bit. For me, it is very important to be as good as possible in what I do, in my work. So I've learned my whole life. If I know already something, I think it is very important to develop this skill more and more. And many workshops, what I have done, and classes. I started to do them in the year 2000. And I just wanted to share, to teach what I have learned and discovered about spirituality and about creativity. So my spiritual workshops topics of them are the power of thoughts, egregors, archetypes, sacred feminine, and many and chakra balancing, and many others. Because actually I think that everything is everything we do, if we develop one skill or one knowledge, it will help us in everything else also what we do. Okay, this is enough about me. Now about creative writing. We all need creativity. And creativity doesn't necessarily mean writing books or painting pictures. Of course, if we do this, it means it is expression of our creativity also, yes. But we can be creative in anything we do. Because creativity is expression of our unique gifts and talents. Creativity means I do something in my own way. As we know, all manifested existence, including this world, is an expression of creative energy. So we are expression of creative energy because we exist. So if we are creative, it means that we are more in tune with the force which did create us. We are more in tune with an existence itself. If we don't use our creativity, then we only can follow the footsteps of others. And then we need manuals of how to do something. And if we don't have manual, and in life it very often we face situations to which we don't have any manuals. So then we don't know what to do. And all this affects our self-esteem. But by being creative, expressing our creativity, then we have more courage to try new things, to follow our dreams. And most important, then we can listen to our intuition and to do what we feel is right to do. We can then make our own choices because this is your life. And if you want to be responsible for it, it means that you have to make your own choices. And if you are creative, then you do know that you are able to find solutions in almost any situations what you will face. And creativity, really, we can be creative in everything. And if we develop our creative skill in one area, then it actually has effect to our full creativity. We can some examples about creativity and in everyday life where we can use it in cooking, even in cleaning our home. We can do it in our own way. Of course, if we have good examples from others to do something, of course we can use, and it is wise to use this knowledge. But creativity means that even if we use knowledge of others, then still we can add something from ourselves if we do something. Now, in this workshop, exercises. They are very short, not difficult. Because if we do these exercises immediately, then we will practice what the theory. So every task or goal we take, it is actually a journey. On that journey, it depends on our preparation, our willpower, our devotion, and our openness to development and to changes. Um, so we start now our journey in creative writing. And yes, creative writing is a very good tool to get inspiration. If you want to become a writer, it is very good for you. But even if not, then we all need writing skills. And creative writing is actually much more than just writing, because it teaches us how to get inspiration, not only for writing, but for our everyday life. So this first exercise, please take your pen and paper. And now, the goal of this is to get into the flow. And exercise is that now, for 3 minutes, I will take time. You will write consistently without a pause. And you will write whatever comes to your mind. And feel totally free to express yourself, because this what you write, it is only for yourself. You don't have to read it to anyone if you don't want. And so whatever comes into your mind. If nothing comes into your mind, then write so, nothing comes into my mind. Important is that you don't stop, just writing 3 minutes without a pause. And go just wherever the road takes you. In the beginning, or even in the middle, you might not find ideas what to write about. Yet, by progressing, you will become like a channel. Just inspiration starts to flow. And there can come to you the thoughts, very surprising thoughts, because you have not goal in mind to write about something particular. You are just open to the flow of inspiration. It is good to do this exercise. Actually, you can do it start it in 2 ways. Just to start to write, or then you can take a book. Just open it somewhere and take first words what you find there and start to write. Now I choose these words for you. These words are coming from one of Gabriel Garcia Marquez's story, short story, Eyes of the Blue Dog. And I read it to you, but I also write in comments. So please take your pen and paper and write. I am the one who comes to your dreams every night and says, and please start to write 3 minutes.
Line.
Okay. Okay. Oh, why? I see that I am upside down, my picture. Do you see me in normal way?
No, man. You are upside down.
Wow. And blue. Some- okay, I maybe put away this. I don't know what happened and why it is in this way. Yes, some people wrote to me that they didn't hear what I say, but I didn't say anything because this was time for writing. And how was it? Would someone want to share how it did feel? Is someone there? No one wants to share. Okay. I
Yes,
hope.
ma'am. I want to share.
Yes.
I also want to share when after
Yes, sir, please.
no after Dr. Tiwari. Yeah.
Dr. Tiwari, you are muted.
Sir,
Yes.
means should I read the passage I wrote in past 3 minutes?
Yes.
Hello,
Yes. Yes.
ma'am. You said you gave us a clue that I'm Deva who comes to your dream every night and says.
Yes.
So the next sentence I began with is like actually it was a personal sentiment and I jotted down. You and says, "My name is Dev itself, Devendra. Dev, you are a good boy, but you are not doing your work in a systematic way. If you want to be successful, you need to be disciplined, hardworking, and creative. So take a place that from the morning you will get up, you will make, plan, and act accordingly. Once you shop, once you start doing your work, you will see a change, and gradually you will realize that you are progressing day by day. Keep yourself engaged with the right books, good friends, which will give you positive vibes to perform right things, and your life will be full of success. That's it.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you. And what did you feel? Was it that you obviously got into the flow, as we see, but but did you feel something different?
Yes, actually, if there would have not been a limit of 3 minutes, I would have kept on writing my
Yes.
experiences.
Mm-hmm. Yes, 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 and it is a very good idea to do that later. We just
Sure, ma'am.
cannot
Sure,
do it for longer in this workshop. But yes, all
sure,
exercises
sure,
we can do later as many times as we want and as long as we want.
sure, ma'am. Sure.
Thank you.
Now, Giri sir, you are welcome.
So thank you so much, Sally. I am Ananta Kumar Giri, based here in South India. Chennai, and I wish to greet you. I have been so happy visiting Tartu in 2004. I spent a few days in University of Tartu. So
Very interesting.
in which city you live, madam?
I live near Tartu, actually, 40 kilometers from Tartu.
Okay.
Most of my life I lived in capital, Tallinn, but now here. Yes.
I also, came to Tallinn and spent one night, and I took a boat from Finland to Estonia.
Yeah.
So it was lovely, being in this process, and I also wrote the few lines, and I felt very at ease, as if it is an invitation to develop oneself, to be part of an invitation to air, to dream and to create. And I wrote the following: I am the one who come to you in your dreams every night and tell you I love you. I wish to hold you in my heart and be a gardener, blossoming you in the garden of love, life, and cosmos. I wish to read philosophy and poetry with you. I wish to dance with you. Let us together be creative travelers and performers, not only in dreams, but also in our waking lives. Let our friendship be a seed of a new evolution and a turning point in our consciousness. Let us create a new world of beauty, dignity, and dialogues.
Mm, yes.
Sir, you are more poetic, and there must be clapping for you.
And
Really, we are happy to have you, sir.
yes, very poetic. And do you want also to tell how did you feel?
Yeah, I felt very, I felt invited, and once I started responding to the call, and all these thoughts started blossoming in me, and I felt a sense of realization that as if I'm holding my dear one near, yes, it's that kind of. So therefore, writing becomes a mode of being, and a sense of co-feeling, a sense of, writing becomes a way of realizing reality or creating reality.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yes, very good, very good. And does someone else wants to say something? Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Mm, no one there. Uh,
Anyone from our students? Manisha, Priya? Okay, ma'am, you may go ahead.
yes, yes. Um, and yes, you can do it later as long as you, actually not as you want, but as long as it comes. It may come even an hour, 2 hours. When you are in flow, you actually don't control it. It just comes. And from my own experience, when I write a story, uh, I can do it in different ways. Um, but one of them, which I like the most, is exactly channeling. It means that story starts to come through me. I am not creating it. It is somewhere and it just comes to me. And I have only to write it. So when I've created or found characters to my story, then actually they start to live their own life. So my task is only to see, to look, to watch what they are doing, and then describe it. And this I also call being in the flow, because this story, it is like it is ready somewhere. it lives its own life. And now I am only the one who can see it, can feel it, can sense it, and write it down. And actually, I think that I believe that this kind being going with flow is possible for everyone. If you have not experienced this yet, it is not problem. You can experience it. You just have to maybe develop some skills to how to get into the flow. But now let's talk about inspiration. I try once more. How do I look like? Oh, now it is okay.
Okay.
Not anymore upside down and not anymore blue. Okay. Yes. So very important is environment. Inspiration, environment. So how comfort if you start to write, then how comfortable is your sitting? What do you see? What is around you? If there is a window, what do you see from the window? What items are in the room? Because actually it is better if you have something inspirational around you when you start to write. It could be even just a picture, photo of something, or whatever picture, or then some item. Or if you want to get inspired, you just can go to places what you like. To walk in the park, or if you can manage to go to the forest or seashore or cafe, museum, wherever you feel that, yes, here inspiration lives and I can, I can get it, go there. And of course, it doesn't mean that you should write every sentence in that park or seashore or cafe. Now, when you return from it, you have memories of this place, and if you need, you can just think about it and get inspiration from your thoughts. Very important is to make notes. And yes, I know nowadays everyone uses cell phone, and if we want to write something, we use cell phone memory. It is good, of course. But I advise you to take a special notebook. So all your ideas will be there. Even if you, for example, during daytime, you are outside of home and get some good ideas, and you write them into your into your cell phone memory. Then I advise you to later, when you come home, to write them into this notebook, because it is very good that if you, all your ideas will be in one place and easily accessible. You will do this probably during a long time, many years maybe. And if they are in notebook, you can just open it anytime and watch what is there, and also you see the history, because oldest are in the beginning and the new ones you wrote later. So also is very good when you read. and you find some, or watch TV and find some very interesting ideas or sentences, just write them down. But of course, you may use your notebook like half of it are for your own ideas, and the other half is ideas for others. And because it is, when you read something which is very inspirational for you, then it like wake up something in you, and your inspiration starts to flow, and you can create by your own something totally new. Very important is style. In order to write well or develop as a writer, it is important to read a lot and know the previous heritage. So read different writers. And of course, you will find writers who are your favorite ones, who became your favorite ones. So, for example, and you can learn a lot of from their style. For example, when I take my favorite authors' books, and I don't have to read, of course, I have read all of them. But now, when I take this book, one of them, and I may read only 1, 2, 3 sentences. This is enough, because this style is has such a great impression on me, that when I read this, I write in a different way than they do. But when I read them, it even a little bit, my own inspiration starts to flow, and I even get this strong what is it? impulse to start to write immediately. So yes, we can always get a lot of inspiration from writers whose style is very interesting for us. Also, important is develop your attention ability, because we have to pay attention to the world around us. If we do that, it is not that we have to be in this state all the time. Of course not. We have to be in this state sometimes, because this helps us to develop the extraordinary capacity to look at ordinary things and see the miraculous, and see something which we cannot see to what you see. This enables you to develop a vision where you start to notice something different. And actually, an idea you can find anywhere. It may be even just a leaf on the street. Maybe it is interesting, maybe it is beautiful, maybe it is the structure, the patterns, maybe there is something special how the wind blows it and it moves on the street. Whatever. what you find by paying attention is usually something you could not notice if you are not in search of this special something. So we start to, if we start to develop our attention ability, we start to see the world around us with new eyes. And how we can develop this ability? For example, one way is what you can practice very easily. It is just when you walk on the street or in the park. And actually, my advice to you is to try both of them, because they are so different places, and you can sense very different things there. So you are walking, and what we do usually when we walk or sit in the bus and just driving, we are thinking. We are always thinking, and we think our thoughts, they are always about past or the future. If we are present here and now in this very moment, that state is actually, as most of you probably know, a state without thoughts. So when we are thinking, you are walking and you think. Then your attention is where? It is mostly on your thoughts. But now, this exercise is to walk and pay attention to all that surrounds you. So if you are in a park, you just watch the trees, the road. Maybe there are dogs, birds. Listen to the sound of leaves when wind blows. Maybe there are some flowers, some fragrance. Just pay attention to everything, to every detail, as many as possible. And the same you can do when you are on the street. What colors, what forms, what kind of people you meet, what kind, how look houses which you see, all this what surrounds you. And when you pay attention to your surroundings, you notice that these ordinary thoughts, which we always have, always in our heads, they become quiet. Not totally quiet, because this is like meditation state, different one from ordinary meditation, but it is still like a meditation state, because we pay attention, we concentrate our attention. Usually in meditation you concentrate it in one thing, but now we concentrate it on everything what surrounds us. And when we you just can go and practice, and then you will see how it works, because I am totally sure you will discover things which you didn't notice before, and that probably many of them will be quite interesting. Also, you can do this with a photograph or picture. You can just take a picture there should be something which you like to look at. And just concentrate on it 8 or to 10 minutes. Just look 8 to 10 minutes that picture. Pay attention only to that picture. Nowhere else. And then put it aside and try to recall your memory of that picture, of as much details as possible. This is also exercise to develop your attention ability. And to develop this concentration is very important now, because we have so much information everywhere. We get new information every day. I don't know how much, but it is a huge amount. When we listen radio, watch TV, read something, going to the street, everywhere is information. And that is actually too much. And we have to learn to concentrate. If we have too much information, then it is very difficult to concentrate. So to develop attention ability is a very important thing for our everyday life. And of course, for our creative ideas also. Does someone has some questions or want to say something? Seems that not. Okay. So now thinking out of the box, creative thinking. We will do another exercise. Again, 3 minutes. Take two previously separate concepts that are in conflict with one another and put them together. Example is friendly enemy or glowing darkness. So, please, I give you two words. Other words you will find yourself, and then you please create the same kind pairs from this. I give you two words: morning and unification. Now, please, 3 minutes to create these pairs. Was it? Did everyone understand the exercise?
Yes, they can understand.
Yes. Okay, please, 3 minutes. Okay. I hope you had enough time to do this. And of course, this is also an exercise what you can do later also. And now another exercise, again 3 minutes, and this is for creative thinking also. So later I advise you I recommend you to find some other objects and do the same exercise. But now I chose an object for you. So this object is this. So a cup. Yes. And please now think and write down how this object can be used in different, not ordinary way. What we do with this usually? We drink from it, yes? So what else we can do with this? And then the next will be which object could replace it? So that should be an object what can perform the same function, but usually is not used for this. This cup is very easy exercise, I think. Of course, later you can find much more difficult items to do this exercise. But please, now 3 minutes. How can we use it in different, not ordinary way, and with what object we can replace it? Please, 3 minutes. And please write it. Okay. Does someone want to share something?
Ma'am, a few
Excuse me,
utilities.
sir. Sir, I
Yes,
would like to invite the respected participant. This time,
yes,
let others too.
yes,
So,
yes.
dear participant, would you like to share? I got a message from Sana Soma Gupta or Dr. Reena Grewal. Anyone? Okay, sir. Carry on.
It's also a humble request for our respected participants, as this activity is a kind of workshop, means learning by doing. So stay involved and follow the instructions given by our honorable resource person. Then only you can take an advantage of this activity. Otherwise, it will be like listening from one ear and letting it go out from other ear. So please be serious, and definitely you at the end of the session you will realize the takeaways from this activity. Only it will be possible when you will participate and try to show how active you are in form of your feedback, in form of the responses. Although definitely I am one of the member of organizing committee, but I enjoy it thoroughly. I don't know whether my responses are up to the mark or not, but I'm doing so. This is my request to all of you to 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 involve yourself and come ahead with your feedback, come ahead with your responses. So that's it. So my observation may be funny, ma'am, but yes, I have noted down. I have made a column, two columns. One for what can be replaced at the place of this cup, or how differently this cup can be used. So, how differently this cup can be used? Three things I have observed. This cup can be used to measure some liquid or grains. It can be used as a mug. It can be used as a glass, and its opposite means what can replace it. A glass can replace it, a mug can replace it, a bottle with open dot can replace it.
Good.
So this has been my observation.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much. And yes, this what
Yes,
you
yes. Priya, Priya, would you like
Yes,
to share? Yes.
yes, sir. I want to say something.
Mhm.
Ma'am, I have written three things that this cup is can be differently used for. First thing that I have written, it can be used for planting small herbs, for decorating your room, and the second one, it can be used as a candle holder. And the third thing which I use it for, turn the music up with a mug phone amplifier, and it sounds so good. And the same thing which sir has told, that it can be used, it can be replaced by a bottle without cap. I was just observing this. Thank you.
Nice observation.
yes, that thank you very much. And yes, but we and this is very good. What did you write and did you find out? Yeah, but we can go with it even more further, more wild, I would say. To
Sandhya
find
Rani Giri,
even some totally.
excuse me, ma'am. Sandhya Rani Giri, would you like to share something? Sandhya? Okay. Go ahead, ma'am.
So I recommend to you to go further, even further, and as I told, to go wild, to find some totally different uses, which before you even could not think that it could be possible to use this cup or whatever object you will take for what purpose. And this exercise also, all these exercises I give you are helping us to start to see the world in different way, to think differently, to get out of the box. Because we are used, we have this habit to think about things in the same way. But we have to break it. If we want to be creative, very creative, we have to break it. We can, of course, still think from about things in the same way as we did. We don't have to throw it out altogether, but we have to add this different dimension of new thinking, of new ability to see things. And they can go this old way and new way, they can go hand in hand. So nothing strange will happen with us if we start to think and see in new ways. But of course, by time, as we develop this energy, this ability, it starts to change our full being. We will be more open and more authentic. Because if we, okay, we know this is a cup, and our ancestors did know this is a cup. This is for drinking, and in all commercials and TV shows and films, wherever we can meet the cup, it is usually for drinking. So we just think it is very normal to drink of it. Okay, it is, yes, nothing wrong, nothing bad. But this way of thinking about cup keeps us in ordinary. If we want to step into extraordinary, we have to start to see with new eyes. That is very important. Okay. Now, what else we can do to start to see things in new way? For example, and these are also exercises you can do later. Here are just few. You can find out by yourself a lot of whatever comes to your mind. But now, for example, come up with a new punctuation mark and its meaning. Or come up with a new word in your language and its meaning. Or think of what could be what capital of what could be your hometown or your favorite town. Or think what museum does not exist yet, but what should exist. For example, here is in Zagreb is a museum of broken relationships. Not ordinary topic for museum. The goal is to create an idea of something totally new. I don't know this museum exists, but yes, it should be, it could be. Then you can think how could look like a monument for your favorite book. Which kind could be a style party driven by your favorite book? And how should look like announcement for that party? Or you can think about your favorite character from a book or from movie, and what could he or she take with him or her in a lonely island? You can think what could be your pseudonym. You can take books, different books, and make a poem about the titles of the books. So select the books, place them on top of each other so that you can see their titles. And these titles you place in this order that they together are like a poem. So these all are these teeny things you can do to do something differently, to think about things you usually don't think, to find solutions you usually don't. And now we do another little exercise. This is surprising solutions. So I show you, I give you words, and I ask you to write, you see, I put it here. Here are 3 columns. Here is number, here is word, and for now you let this be empty. This, but you let here be enough room, empty place, yes. So number, word, and empty place, please. First, as exciting as. Second, as high as. 3, as soft as. 4, as strong as. 5, as red as. 6, as dark as. 7, as confused as. 8, as blue as. 9, as happy as. 10, as lonely as. 11, as sad as. and 12 as uncommon as. And now please, you take this first word and write what you think could be. As I wrote, as exciting as finding a treasure hidden deep in the cave, for example. Yes. So take every of them and write something you find is right to write there. For this, we have 4 minutes. Okay. I hope you did right all this and what you can do next, not right now, but later. This is actually a very interesting way to find new solutions. Now you have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And now you can take this first from the first column here, and mix it to see, to look how it, okay, this what you wrote near it, it is obviously what is a good pair with it. But now you take this first and look how it could be with the second one from second column, or with third one, or so on. So you can find solutions which you didn't, which you couldn't think of if you think your ordinary way. Because if something is, you think something is dark, you think ordinary, usually ordinary dark things. But now, if you mix this dark with something which you previously put together with lonely or happy or blue or soft, then you can see solutions which are very very uncommon. Was it, did I explain this that everyone did understand? Or someone didn't?
Yes,
Please
yes,
let me know
absolutely.
if you didn't. What do you think, Randhir? Did you understand what?
Yes, 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 I have understood.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
And you, here I just gave you some words, yes, but you can create them as many as you want. And this is, I have done this exercise because many years ago, I don't know, 15 years ago maybe, I did participate on a creative writing workshop. It was very different than this now, but this exercise was there. And for me, it was actually very eyes-opening because by this way, I can really find descriptions which my ordinary thinking cannot find. Okay. Um, and of course, not to take later only this first one, but also all others, and to put them together and see. Of course, some of them, this pair will be strange and just nothing, but but some of them can be exciting. So now about making lists. If we make lists, it is a very good way actually to organize our thoughts, to make plans, to find new ideas. So I give you some examples of lists which you could create, but of course you have to imagine by yourself what list you can create. But here are my examples. 10 things I would do if everything was possible. 10 things which I'd like to learn. 10 interesting ways to spend my free time that I haven't done so far. 10 things that I've done, but others doesn't know. So my secret things. 10 things which can be read, but are no books, not newspapers or something in internet. You can also make a list, for example, of headlines that can be read in newspapers after 10 years. The most interesting people you ever have met. The most precious things you have ever had. About places where it is good to write or read. About places where it is impossible to write or read. About losses that have proved to be victories later. About things you have really wanted and you received but never used. Of films whose title was better than its content, and so on, and so on, and so on. Then also you could write to-do list to someone else. For example, to the tiger in the woods, or to the baker, or to the leaf on the branch. It also makes you to think differently, because usually I think, you don't think what to tell to the leaf or to the tiger in the woods, or to the flower on the field, or to the wave on the ocean. But now, if you take this topic and try to understand which could be to-do list for this wave on the ocean, in the ocean, then you also start to think in different, very different ways, actually. And now we take one more. I don't know, maybe everyone is very tired.
Yes, yes. So kindly wind up, means if you can briefly summarize.
Yes, yes, yes. So we will not do this here now, but you can do it later. It is one very common thing when we learn about creative writing. There is exercise to write a 6-word story about your life. That is also quite interesting exercise. I read you some of them that you can understand what I mean. Yeah, they asked, I thought, I created. 6 words. Or others quit early, I continue looking. Or dancing with ideas of infinite possibilities. Or learning to color outside the lines. Or successful when ignoring what happened before. Or learn to make the familiar unfamiliar. Or followed logic, not intuition, never again. And you can actually find examples of 6-word stories in general in the internet. It is www.6wordstories.net. And this is, for my opinion, also quite interesting exercise, because to create from my own life now this 6-word story, how I describe so shortly my life. So you can create not one, but several of 6-word stories about your life if you want. This is quite interesting thing to do. So, what do you think? Do we talk now a bit about titles? Are you too tired for this, or we can do this also?
Yes, yes, we can, but
We
briefly.
can. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So, title. Is it a book title or a title to whatever writing we create? And describe the content in some way. So now about book titles. Book titles can be poetical. And I give you example of every what I tell you. Poetical. For example, Across the Nightingale Floor by Lion Hair. Nightingale, it is a teeny bird, probably not living in, does it live in India?
Yes, yes.
It does? Ah, okay. Sings on the night. Yes, yeah. Or poetical is also Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. Title could be action-oriented. For example, Who Rushes to the Night Train? This is by Estonian writer Ted Kallas. Or consist of opposite pairs, the red and the black by Stendhal. Or contain conflict, contradiction, or mystery. For example, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf by Edward Albee. Or The Unbearable Lightness of Being by Milan Kundera. Or The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls. Or Eyes of a Blue Dog by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Title could consist of the names of the characters. For example, Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. Or consist of place names. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Or consist one word, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Or consist numbers, 1001 Nights, collection of Middle Eastern folktale. Or The Decameron by Giovanni Boccaccio. Deca means 10. And now, here, these were just examples. And now, again, just for creative imagination to develop, we can take titles of books we already know and take 2 or 3 or maybe even more and put and create something new from them. For example, if I take 2 of what I read to you already, for example, I take Across the Nightingale Floor and The Unbearable Lightness of Being, and create the third one, The Unbearable Lightness of Nightingale Floor. Of course, I will not use this for my own book, but it is just for inspiration. I can take the titles already exist and put them together, mixing them, matching them, and create something new, just for inspiration. And when I do that, maybe it is later easier for me to find totally my own new title. Or I give you one more example. I take Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf and Eyes of a Blue Dog and 1001 Nights. Put them together and I get Who is Afraid of the Eyes of the Night. So this game you can play with the titles. And also you can, what you can do, you can take your favorite book and think which title you could create to this book. How you think that, wow, this title could also be a great one for my favorite book. What do you think? which could it be? Or there are a lot of text and labels in every person's living environment and surroundings that are not necessarily on paper. Notice them. Look at your surroundings, your way home. Read words and phrases on house walls, product labels, everywhere you can see them. And which of them could be used as title for book or story, or part of it? Yes, I think now if someone, okay, if you want, I can give you two beginnings for two more exercises which we did the first in this workshop, this writing without a pause. Of course, you can find them by your own, and maybe probably you will find much better that suits you more. But I just give you for a case if someone wants. Yeah. So the first is that's why I brought you here, she said. That's why I brought you here, she said. And the second is, they must have been very similar and also very different. They must have been very similar and also very different. Now, yes, and this you can use as a beginning for writing without a pause. Or then you can just open whatever book you can find, open it somewhere, and first sentence or words, what you can see, you can write down and start this endless, without pause writing. So now I write here for you. If you have questions later, you want to ask something, or you want to share something, or just want to have connection in Facebook, I type here my Facebook name. You can send me friend request or just a question or something. But sometimes it happens that when someone who is not a friend sends me message, actually it happens quite often, then I don't receive it. Only it is going to some other box, not mailbox, and once a year approximately I go to look, check out what is there in that trash box, and then I found, wow, there are a lot of messages. So if you want to please, if you want to ask something later or share something, don't afraid, feel free to do that. I will be glad to help if I can, or just to share thoughts. So my Facebook name, and yes, for Indians it is difficult to pronounce my name as it is. So my name actually is Sülli R.Vaino. But in Facebook I use the name on another name because I in Suli you see this is a letter which is very uncommon for many languages. So I thought I could find an artist name which is more international. Yeah, I think I found one, but I have not used it in my works yet. So I don't know. Now it is in internet, in Facebook. it is Jade Silverstone. Maybe I will change it soon or sometime. I don't know. I write it here. Yes.
I have also shared the link.
Silverstone. So in Facebook, you can find me by this name. If you are interested to see what I have created, so on Jade Silverstone page in Facebook. Oh, sorry. And now I see I wrote it. I wrote my name here, but I see here in comments that I send it privately to someone. Wow, I don't know how could
No
I
problem. I can share. You can
please,
see. Yes.
please do this because, oh, yes, yes. Thank you very much.
You can
I
find.
really, this room is quite new for me and I don't know why I did
Yes, yes.
send it privately to someone. And
No.
in this page, if you want to see what my creations, there in albums, you can find albums and in album, you know, where somewhere there is album. Yes, see all photos, and then there are albums, I think. Yes, albums. Yeah. No, not all photos. Don't scroll all photos. Please put to album. Yeah. And there you can find somewhere down, there are illustrations and my paintings and my creation. So if you are interested, you can watch that. And then also I have another page in Facebook, which is, could you, yes, thank you very much. I don't know, do I, okay. Everyone publicly, yes. Now I hope, this is also page of mine. Let's see, again, privately. Gosh, I don't know what to do. Everyone
Yes,
public.
everyone.
I write it again. What I want to say that you can there also again. I don't know. I cannot.
No problem.
Write.
I will share. I will
What?
share
Okay.
in the
No
email
problem.
ID, in the certificate itself. When I will send the certificate, I will share your details.
Okay.
So that
Okay.
for further
Okay. Thank
inquiry,
you.
they can contact you.
So,
Okay.
thank you very much, Randhir. So, please feel free to ask or to share something if you want. And I will gladly participate in conversation. Or if I can help someone, how
Yes.
to answer, I will do. So, does someone have questions or wants to share something with us?
Yes, I would like respected participant to kindly share their thoughts or queries or any questions, comments. You are welcome. Soma Gupta, I can see your active participation. So, Sobia, you can share your thought.
Comments, compliments also you can.
Yes. So, if no comment, then Michelle.
Well, I have few compliments.
Yes.
Uh, while ma'am was delivering her ideas, uh, I have noticed some of the expressions, and those expressions I would like to relate with core literature. Ma'am, when was delivering her ideas in form of maintaining the flow of writing, and ma'am mentioned one if you started once, if you have started writing, and according to demand you have according to demand of the character, according to nature of character, uh, you enter in the personality of character. For that, there is a specific term in literature, negative capability, coined by John Keats, one of the romantic writer of 18th century. In his one of the private letter to his brother, he mentioned that all the great writers up to his time, or maybe in past, he makes a special mention to William Shakespeare, that if a writer, creative writer, has this negative capability, it means writer should forget his personality, his existence, and start revealing the ideas according to the nature, according to the personality of persona. That is called negative capability. So of course, to maintain sublimity or to make any piece of creative writing durable and everlasting, a writer should maintain negative capability, and that was already narrated by ma'am in another way. So that's it. Another thing, if I'm allowed, I can I?
Yes, kindly briefly, because we are running out of the time.
Yes, few things I noted down, and that is, yes, ma'am expressed one sentence, not a sentence, group of sentences in the very beginning of ma'am's deliberation. Ma'am told, when we do not use our creativity, then we follow others. That is a very strong line, very mighty line. And in the light of this line, I would like to quote. Actually, I got that quote or that idea from one cartoon from internet, and that is very relevant. Everybody, whosoever is listening this conversation, knows about a fable, the story of the hare and tortoise, and the moral. So for now, everybody is aware that slow and steady wins the race. So definitely that is one concept ever written by the writer. But the moment we start thinking beyond the box, some other conclusions can be derived. One conclusion can be, say, for example, that the hare who slept after some couple of minutes of starting his race, being feeling confident about his speed, that before me, what is the capacity of that tortoise. Hello, suppose in that story, if that hare decides not to sleep, so what will happen? So another conclusion can be derived, that fast and consistent always wins the race.
Yes.
So some other observations I have, and that is relevant, so allow me to carry on. Another conclusion can be derived from the same story, that if maybe that tortoise challenges after losing second race, okay, let's have another race, and there is some twist, maybe that the hare says, sorry, the tortoise says, okay, this time we will change the route, and because the hare was very fast in running, so of course, being confident of his speed, this time also the hare started running very fast. But in the middle of the journey, maybe very few miles before the destination, there is a river. So what that hare will do? Of course, tortoise will reach to that river with his space, and of course, as the tortoise is well versed or adept of swimming, that tortoise will cross the river and reach to the destination. Another conclusion, the last conclusion, the story does not end here. The last conclusion is, this time, as after running a couple of races, both hare and tortoise has become friend together. Now they decided to have another race. This time they decide, anyhow we both would like to work as a team, and wherever I am good at, I will help you out, and where you are good at, you will help me out. And they adopted the third path, Again, as hare is very fast in running, so in the last race, the hare put that tortoise on its head and ran very fast. When the river, they reached to the river, the tortoise put the hare on its back and they crossed the river and they reached the destination together. So like that, we can think beyond the box and generate new ideas, and that will be definitely original. So that's it I have to say.
Thank you,
Thank
Devendra,
you.
and
Welcome.
very insightful observation and summary. Michelle, would you like to say something? You are so active, I can see you. Michelle? Yes. Would you like to share your thought, please, sir? You can unmute yourself.
I just want to say that I found that really nutritious for the mind. I think there's a billion ideas to think of, and I was thinking along the lines of it's inventing the availability or the potential to invent. I really appreciate that. It's like making a seed, but bringing the idea that the seed is from nowhere. I very much enjoyed that. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
you so much for your kind participation.
Thank you.
Last word, Professor Anand, sir, would you like to share some thought? Because in 5 minutes or 6 minutes, we are going to wind up.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sülli. You are so creative. And as a tribute to you, I wish to present a small poem. And it goes like this. Can you write a poem? Yes, it goes like this. Can you write a poem? Maybe. That is good. You are a soul of possibility. Can you write a poem? This is not my field, I would tell my daughter or my husband. But can your creativity be substituted by another? Maybe not. I express my creativity in beauty and austerity. The beauty of austerity, austerity of beauty. I live with little, do not discard the old. I live with joy, bring joy to the streets and souls. I play colors with self and society. Holi. Holi is a dance of color we play in India. Holi with holiness and wholeness. Bindu. Bindu is the dot that women put on their forehead. Bindu and Brahmanda. Brahmanda is cosmos. Flow in my hair. Am I also not a bird? A bird of creativity.
That's great. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you
And
so much. Yes, thank you.
my love and hugs to Tartu
Yes.
Yes.
and to the beautiful university there. I stayed there around for a few days, and to you and to your family and
Yes.
all of you. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we have just, I will take only 2 or 3 minutes. So as following the tradition, we are having the vote of thanks. So before vote of thanks, I also want to share one poem. Yes. If the poem title is, You Might Be a Writer. If you find yourself awake at 3 a.m., unable to sleep because your mind is thinking too much, you might be a writer. If you fall in love with words because of what they mean or the way they roll off your tongue, you might be a writer. If you spend hours trying to come up with the perfect description of something fairly simple, you might be a writer. If you are not afraid of letting your deepest thought run wild on an endless blank page, you might be a writer. If your mind is a twisted place, crammed full with beauty, darkness, and slight bit of madness, you might be a writer. If you often create conversations in your head, regardless of if you will ever actually use them, you might be a writer. So thank you so much with this word. Now it's time to say goodbye. So before goodbye, I will again thank you so much, all participants, particularly Dr. J.S. Anand sir, who had guest of honor, Professor Diwakar Goli, Deepika ma'am, Chief of Rage Global Foundation, USA, my source of inspiration, Professor Anand Kumar Giri sir, and good moderator, you did sir, excellent job, Dr. Devendra Tiwari sir, and the best insights from our eminent speaker. Thank you so much for your generosity and accepting the invitation. Sülli R.Vaino, a writer, artist, and my good friend. Thank you so much. And
Thank you, all of
it's
you.
time to say
Namaste.
goodbye.
Greetings
Sabak
of
hai.
India.
Yes,
Sabak
thank
hai.
you everyone. Thank you
Assalamu
very much.
alaikum.
And thank you, Randhir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.